Hello and welcome again. Uh, Earlier we have discussed how to represent Coulomb's law in its mathematical form in terms of its magnitude. Now we will talk about how we put the Coulomb's law in its vector form. I am taking this session because most of the time students find it quite confusing to give proper notations based on different books. They get confused. So I am taking this session. It will make you easy to understand how we put the Coulomb's law into its vector form. Okay, Coulomb's law we already know that. The expression for Coulomb's law in terms of its magnitude is given by F is equal to, this is the electrostatic force, it is given by K constant, which is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 into Q2 divided by R square, where Q1, Q2 are the two charges which are interacting. They are exerting forces on each other, and R is the separation among them. Okay, so if we are willing to put this force in the vector form, we have to consider that which one is the charge which is exerting the force and what is the direction of that charge on which the force is exerting. These two things are very much important. If you understand these two things, it becomes very easy to put the Coulomb's law in vector form. So let me take the simple case. I am taking the charge under consideration which is exerting the force as the Q1 here. Suppose that the charge is lying at position A is Q1. So this is the charge which is exerting the force on any other charge, which we have to write here. Okay, according to the Coulomb's law. So this is the charge under consideration, right? We take another charge on which we are willing to find out the force. We take that charge as Q2. Suppose the charge on which we are willing to find out the electrostatic force, or we can say Coulomb force exerted by Q1. It is lying at position B, and the quantity, or we can say magnitude, or the strength of that charge is Q2. These charges, they may be similar charges or they may be dissimilar or unlike charges. Both of them may be positive or both of them may be negative, or one of them may be positive, other one may be negative. The method remains same. So for first case, or first hand, I am taking that both charges are positive, for example. So if both are positive, because both charges are like, they will be exerting repulsive forces on each other, repulsive electrostatic forces. So this is the charge in first hand I am taking, which is exerting the force on which charge? The Q2, right? And the distance of this charge, or better I say, okay, we take the distance here R, but it is better to say here the position of this charge Q2 with respect to charge Q1, right? So first I represent the force exerted by charge Q1 on the similar charge Q2, as I am taking the case here. So what kind of force it will exert? A repulsive force. Due to that repulsive force, this charge Q1, it will try to make the charge Q2 move away. That is the effect of repulsive force. So force exerted by Q1 on charge Q2, it will be away from charge Q1, because I am taking the charges to be similar. You can take the charges to be unlike. You represent the force according to that situation. Okay. For simplification, I am giving it particular name. Let me just define the position vector first. Okay. So whenever force is acting along this direction due to charge Q1 on charge Q2, I am representing the position. Whose position? The charge on which the force is exerted. The position of charge Q2 from position Q1. So here is the Q1. Let me just represent it this way. Here is the Q1. Q2 charge may be anywhere. So you have to define the direction, or we can say position of that charge where Q2 is lying. So that will be the vector, position vector of that charge with respect to this one. For example, here is the charge Q1 and Q2 is here. Then what is the position vector of Q2 with respect to Q1? Because this one is exerting the force. The direction of that position vector will be in this way. this way. We put a arrow here in this direction. Similarly, if here is q1 and q2 is here, then we have to put the vector in that direction, right? So because force is exerted by charge q1 on q2, so the position vector of q2, charge q2, position vector of charge q2, it is represented as r vector. I will give it a name right now, r vector. So this is a vector in this direction. But important thing here is to know the magnitude of this vector and its unit vector, because that unit vector will be also be along the force F, right? Okay. So first thing I have done is I have considered that which one charge is exerting the force on any other charge. It is q1, right? Second thing, I define the force. Force exerted by q1 on q2. I am writing it as F12. You can give it name F21, but I am writing it F12 to make it simple and remember it easily. So first thing I am doing is I am representing the force which is exerted by charge q1 on q2 according to the situation. Also, second thing I will do, that is the only thing I have to do, is the position also. Position of whose position? On which the force is exerted, that charge. So it is q2 here. So position of q2 with respect to q1, charge q1. So I am giving it a name r12 vector, right? I am giving it same symbol without getting it confused. So what is the position of q2 with respect to q1? It is also r12. I am writing it r12. So this is the vector. So more important thing here is to consider the unit vector. So the unit vector we represent it as cap, r12 cap. So this is the unit vector of position of charge q2 with respect to charge q1. So it is r12 cap, unit vector, because it is a unit vector. So this is the force. I am writing it at F12. Now I am giving it symbol F12. Be very clear that you have to know three things. You have to define three things. One, you have to choose the charge who is exerting the force. And second one, you have to define the force exerted by that charge on the given charge. And also define the position of that charge on which force is acting due to given charge q1 as r12. In some books, here it is taken as r21 and here it is f21 and it is taken as r12. That becomes a little confusing for many children. So better take it as f12, and the position of q2 is also force on charge q2 f12 and position of charge q2 also r12 cap. Okay, therefore we can write the expression for this force. This force can be written as F12 vector. This is equal to constant K, which is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, the two charges Q1 into Q2 upon the separation between the two charges, which is in this particular case it is R12, or you can simply write it as R square. R12, or simply because we are interested here in the magnitude only, you can just write the symbol R here, not to confuse much. Okay, into what is the unit vector along this force? How do you write a vector? I am writing it as, if we have a vector A, then how do we write it? The magnitude of vector A into its unit vector, which is along the given vector. This is the unit vector who is directed along the given vector A. So this unit vector is along this vector A. So we have to take that unit vector whose direction is same along the given force F. So it is R12 because we are taking the position of charge 2 with respect to Q1. So we have defined it as R12 cap. Simple. So this is the simple representation of the electrostatic force in terms of the vector form. Similarly, if we are taking charge Q2 as the charge which is exerting the force on other charge which is Q1, or it may be Q3, it may be any other charge. So I am taking that Q2 is the charge which is exerting the force because charges are like. So what is the direction in which the force is exerted? Away from charge Q1 as earlier. So this force I can give it a different name, F21. So here similarly, force on charge Q1. Now we are taking the force on charge Q2, or in the, if I have to write in the same language, then I can write force exerted by Q2 on Q1. This I can represent it as F21 vector. And also position of on what charge the force is exerted? Q1. So position of charge Q1 with respect to which charge? Who is exerting the force? Now who is exerting the force? The charge Q2. So therefore position of charge Q1 with respect to charge Q2. I am defining it as R21 unit vector. So that position is known by this unit vector R21 cap. So this is the force. So what is the position of Q1 with respect to Q2? So this is the point from where the position is to be known. So it is R21 cap. I am defining it as R21 cap. Therefore the force, electrostatic force in vector form due to charge Q2 on 1 can be written as, it is F21 vector. This is equal to K into, say, because charges are same, Q2 into Q1, or we can simply write it Q1 into Q2 divided by R, because the separation is again same. So either we write it as R21 square or simply R square because it is the same distance, into what is the unit vector along this force? It is R21 cap. So this is how we represent the Coulomb's law in its vector form. We can just compare these two results and note that these two vectors R21 and R12 unit vectors, they are representing the same unit vector in terms of magnitude, and also their directions are opposite to each other. So we can write that from 1 and 2 we say that what we have observed that R12 it is equal but opposite to R21. So if this is the case from the given situation, therefore this force F21 or F12, if we are writing R12 is equal to, we can write it 12. You can also write F21, there is no difference. So F12, this force can be written as K into Q1 Q2 upon R square into R12. You can write it R12, it is unit vector, as minus R21 in the bracket. We are writing the value of just R12 from this equation to here in this equation. That is all we have written, nothing special. Okay, this minus sign can be taken out, and from here we come to very important conclusion that F12 this equal to minus of this. I can write it as K and we can put minus sign here. So what we are left with the same expression, we can write it as minus this expression. So it is F which is equal to F21. So this is very important result. What this result says? This result says that force exerted by charge 1 on 2, it is equal to force exerted by charge 2 on 1, but their direction are opposite to each other. So we have two equal forces which are directed opposite to each other. So from here we can say that the forces exerted by the two charges on each other are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. So from here we can say that Coulomb's law always follows the Newton's third law of motion, because forces exerted by one charge on the other is of same magnitude as exerted by the second on the first one, and in direction it is opposite to the earlier one. So this is how we represent the Coulomb's law in vector form. Now we will understand how we represent the Coulomb's law in position vector form. So while we write the expression for Coulomb's law in terms of its position vector, then we take the reference point as the coordinate system and we define the position for both the charges. Let us see how. So I can just write the vector form here as we had just written it, R12 cap, which is equal to minus F21 vector. And how do we write the magnitude? As A vector, it is equal to A, the magnitude of A into its unit vector, just for the reference. Okay, so let us take two charges. First, we take the charge who is exerting the force. So in first case, we have charge Q1 who is exerting the force. You can give it any other name, Q1, Q2, whatever name you feel easy to remember. So suppose that Q1 charge is at position A and there is another charge which is at position B. Let it be named Q2, and we have a coordinate system according to which we define x, y, z, according to which we define the positions of these two charges which are under consideration for the Coulomb's law. So by defining the positions of these two charges according to this coordinate system, we can put the Coulomb's law in position vector form. So according to this coordinate system, let R1 is the position vector of charge Q1. So this is the vector which is representing the position of charge Q1 lying at position A. Similarly, the position of charge Q2 which is lying at position B. So let it be represented as R2. Now again we can take the two charges are similar. For simplification we can take the two charges to be positive. Then if they are similar charges, or we can say like charges, they will be repelling each other. They are repelling each other away from each other. Okay, so for first case I am taking that charge Q1 is the one which is exerting the force on charge Q2, whose position vector is R1. So what is the direction of force exerted by Q1 charge on a similar charge Q2? Away from the Q1. So this is the direction. This is the direction of the force exerted by charge Q1 on charge 2. I am giving it name, same name, F12. And what is the unit vector along that direction? I can define it in the similar manner as R12 cap. So this is the unit vector along the force. The position of this is the unit vector representing the position of charge Q2 with respect to the charge Q1 who is exerting the force. So it is the unit vector of charge q2, representing the position or direction of charge q2, not position but direction of charge q2 with respect to the charge q1 who is exerting the force. So I can write the expression for the force. So for the sake of simplicity, let us write again the two results. So force exerted by q1 on q2, this is equal to F12. We are giving it the name F12 as we had did earlier. Also, position of charge q2, because force is on acting on charge q2 with respect to what? With respect to charge q1, because q1 is the charge who is exerting the force. So this is equal to R12 cap. So therefore the force F12 exerted by charge q1 on 2, we can write it as K into q1 into q2 divided by R square into R12 cap. Now this position, let us be little more accurate in representation. This position R, what is this position? It is the separation between the two charges. But whenever we are putting them in vector form, either we write it as R or we write it as R12, the magnitude of R12 vector. This is R12 cap. So this is the magnitude of vector R12. So either we write it as R12 or simply we can write it as R, but for simplification we can write it as R12 because we have to transform this in terms of the position vector. Okay, because R12 is not given in the question. What is given? The position vectors of charges q1 which is R1 and charge q2 which is R2. So we have to transform this unit vector in terms of the given given position vectors. So how we can write R12? So we can write R12 this as this R12, this can be written as the position of charge q2 with respect to A, as we have to apply here the triangle law of vector addition. So I can draw this triangle in this particular situation separately. So here is point O, this is point A and this is point B. Forget the charges, remember the points here. So this is R1, this is R2 and this is the vector in this direction which is R12. So by applying the triangle law of vector addition, this in which two vectors are taken in the same order, third one is taken in the opposite order from the closing side. So these two vectors R1 and R21, they are along the same direction and this one is opposite to the two vectors, means from the closing side in opposite order. So this vector R12, according to triangle law of vector addition, R12, we can write it as R2 minus R1. So this is how we write this R12 vector. If we have to write the unit vector, then how do we write it as? We have to write the magnitude of this. So this can be written as R12 vector. This can be written as R2 minus R1 vector, its magnitude, and R12 cap. Right? So this is the unit vector. So how do we represent the unit vector? We have to take this to the other side. Right? So therefore, from here we can write the expression F12 as K into Q1 Q2 upon R12 square, means R12, the magnitude. So here is the magnitude. So it is R2 minus R1 vectors, the magnitude, the square, into unit vector. From here the unit vector R12 becomes equal to R12 vector divided by R2 minus R1 vectors, here magnitude. From this expression I am just taking it. So this is R cap. So this value is written as this. It is not difficult to understand. We are writing it only according to the triangle law of vector addition. So value of this and this we can write it as here. So R12, which is a magnitude, so So we are writing it as R2 vector minus R1 vector to the magnitude. Square, we are putting the square sign here. And this unit vector, this is written as R12 vector. We are writing the value of this divided by R2 vector minus R1 vector to the magnitude. So in the denominator we are getting the magnitude square into magnitude, same magnitude. So it becomes power 3. Here is power 2, here is power 1. So it becomes 3. So this implies F12 vector simply equals K into Q1 Q2 divided by R2 minus R1 vector magnitude power 3, because 2 and 1 makes 3, into R vector. So this is how we represent R12 vector. Sorry, it is R12 vector. So this is the representation of the Coulomb's law in terms of the position vector of the charges, which is R2 and it is R1. Right? In the similar manner, you can take the charge Q2 as the reference point. Who is exerting the force on charge Q1? In what direction? Away from charge Q2 in opposite direction, and position of charge Q1 with respect to Q2 as R21, which is directed towards charge Q1 from charge Q2, because now charge Q2 is exerting the force, and the direction of force is F21, the force exerted by charge 2 on 1. So that is the simple representation. So you can write the expression for that force also. So I am just writing the expression, final expression. You can try it yourself. You will find it quite easy to write. So it is F21. In exam, if there is a question just like this, then you can simply exchange or interchange 1 and 2 with each other. So F21, this is equal to K into Q1 Q2 upon R1 minus R2, because now closing side will be R1, magnitude power 3 as here, into R21 vector. R21, the position vector of charge Q1 with respect to Q1. So that is the clear representation of the two forces, or we can say Coulomb forces, in terms of its position vector form. That's all for now. In the next session, we will talk about the principle of superposition and its applications. Thank you.